Hi friends, it's Miss Jenifer at Somerset Academy of Music, and today I'm going to take you through a quick video on how to play two important chords, the C major and C minor chords. Before we get started, I'd just like to thank you for watching the video and ask that you please consider giving it a thumbs up if you find it helpful. Also consider subscribing to my channel. Alright, so the important thing to know about chords is that every chord is based on its scale. So if you don't already know how to play the C major scale, I would encourage you to go back and watch my video on how to play that, because that'll help make this video make a lot more sense. But even if you don't know the scale, you can still learn to play these two chords. So as I said, all chords are based on scales. So the C major chord is going to follow that as well. Every major chord is made up of the first note, the third note, and the fifth note of a scale. We in fact call those notes, the first note is called the first or the root. This middle note here is called the third, and the top note is called the fifth. And that's because that's where they come from. That's their placement in the scale. So to create the C major scale, that's all you have to do is to play this first note, the third note, and the fifth note of the scale creates C major. Now, a really cool thing is that it's so easy once you know the major scale to change it into a minor. All you have to do is to take the third, which was the third note of the scale, the middle note of the chord, and lower it a half step. A half step on the piano just means the key directly to the left or right. So if we're going to go one key lower, we're going to go one key to the left. So instead of playing E, I'm going to play E flat. That changes it into C minor. So C major has E natural, C minor has E flat. Okay, so that's the difference between them. A very cool thing about chords is that we don't have to always play them in just one way. So this C major chord, when I have it in this position, is called, it's said to be in root position, and that is because the lowest note of the scale, or the name of the scale, is my lowest note in the chord. So since I'm playing a C major chord, C is my lowest note. It's the root note of the chord, where the chord gets its name, and when it is the lowest note in the chord, it's said to be in root position. I can play this exact same chord by rearranging the notes and the order in which they're played. We call this inverting. So if I take this C and instead of playing it as the lowest note, I move it up. All I'm going to do is, instead of playing it here, I'm going to move it up here. Let me rearrange my hands. The E and the G are in the same place they were. All I've done is moved the C an octave higher. It's still a C chord because I still have the notes C, E, and G. I haven't changed any of the notes. I just changed their position or their order. This is now a C in first inversion. Now, we can go one step further, and I can take this E instead of playing it here, and I can move it up an octave. And now, I've still got my G and my C, and now my E is the top note. This is called second inversion. So that's three different ways right there that you can play a C major chord. Root position, first inversion, second inversion. And that's really nice because you can see, although it's the same chord, it does give it a different sound, but it's still the C chord. Another cool thing that you can do if you want to bring your left hand in on this is you can add with your left hand a low C with your C in your right hand. And that's something we do a lot in piano. It gives a much nice fuller sound, and I can still move these notes around, and I still, again, have the C major chord. So no matter what order in which you play those notes, I could even play the G here, the C here, and the E here. That's still a C chord. You can see it has a different sound, but it's still the C chord. Let's try another combination. Let me play the E here. I'll play the G here and the C here. Still a C chord. I can do the same thing with C minor, as we mentioned before. C minor, all of the differences is I'm just going to make this E a half step lower, making it E flat. That's C minor in root position. I can move the C to the top. Now I have C minor, first inversion. I can move the E flat to the top. And now I have C minor, second inversion. And again, no matter what order I play these notes, as long as I'm playing those three notes, it creates C minor. So again, I could have my C that I also add in my left hand. And you can see all the richness of the chord you can create just by rearranging the notes adding some lower notes with your other hand. You could also play the chord with your left hand and play a single note with your right hand. Any of the notes in the C minor chord, it's still C minor. I can go back to C major, do the same thing, playing the chord in my left hand. Let's invert it here. So now I've got E, G, C in my left hand, and I can play other notes in the C chord, and I get a variety of different sounds, yet I'm still playing only one chord. So I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, again, please consider giving it a thumbs up, consider subscribing to my channel, and if you have any suggestions or questions, please leave those in the comments below. Thank you so much, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video real soon. Bye-bye.